Shavua Tov, a good vach. Hopefully an easy fast. Hopefully God will take away these fasts from us and turn them into true holidays. There's a story told about the Alpter Rebbe, who lived in the times of the second Rebbe, almost around 200 years ago. And he was a great Rebbe with many, many thousands of Chassidim. And one such Chassid, who was very poor, came to the Rebbe, broken-hearted that he could not marry off his daughter because he didn't have the 200 rubles that he needed to make a wedding. And the Rebbe said, hold on a minute. He wrote a note. Basically, the note said, please give 200 rubles to the bearer of this letter. Put it in an envelope, and he wrote down a name of one of his wealthy chassidim. And he said to this poor man, go to this chassid, show him this letter from me, and ask him to give you the 200 rubles. So he traveled. The poor man didn't really know who this wealthy man is, but he traveled to him with a very, very happy heart, because certainly he's going to receive the entire money in one shot and go and make a wedding, and life will be great. When he came to this wealthy man's house and he showed him the letter, the eyebrows went all the way up, and he said, 200 rubles? My typical generous donation is 10 rubles. I'll give you 20. I'll double it for you, but not 200. And the poor man said, the Rebbe sent me for 200. So he kept upping it 30, 40, 50. And after 50, which is 5 times his usual generous donation, he said, I'm sorry. So the poor man said, okay, so give me back the Rebbe's letter. He said, fine. He gave him back the letter. And he returned to the Rebbe, and the Rebbe said, what happened? He said, he didn't want to give me more than 50. And since you said 200, I didn't take anything, and I'm back. So the Rebbe thought for a moment, and then he took another envelope, and he wrote a different name on it, and he said, go to this chassid and ask him, show him the letter that I'm asking him to give you 200. I left out an important 3 words. The Rebbe said, on my account. Give him 200 rubles on my account. Now the rich man had said, the Rebbe doesn't have an account with me. I mean, I'm his chassid and he's my Rebbe and I respect him greatly. But we don't have an account. I'm not holding his money or anything, and I won't give you more than 50. Now, the same letter, please give this poor man 200 rubles on my account. He went to another chassid. And when he shows up, he finds the chassid, he tracks him down. He's a very poor gentleman who lived day to day, just scrambling and doing some buying and selling. And he came and he says, here, the Rebbe sent me to you. He opens the letter and he says, 200 rubles. Says, do you need to have it in the next half an hour or can you wait till the night? He said, I can wait. And this poor man figured, okay, do the math, 200 rubles. He decided he's going to borrow, let's say, 10 rubles from 20 people and come up with the 200 ruble, and then he'll figure out one by one how to pay them back. So he goes and he asks for a loan of 10 rubles, 10 rubles, 10 rubles. When are you going to pay back? When I have a chance, when I have the money. Halfway through, he starts thinking to himself, I will never live long enough to pay back this money. It was a tremendous amount of money, especially for him. But anyways, he went and he borrowed from 20 people 10 rubles, and he goes back a few hours later, and he gives the chassid the 200 rubles, the poor man, he's very happy, and away he goes with the money to marry off his daughter. Meanwhile, this guy, who had been asked and successfully raised the 200 ruble, and has no clue how he'll ever pay back the money, decided, listen, while I'm at it, let me borrow from one more person, and I'll see if I can do business. So he borrowed another 10 ruble, and he went to the market, and he bought something, and he sold it for 15 or 20 rubles. He paid back, and then he invested again. And in the course of a month or two, he became a very, very wealthy man. You might be shocked to hear that over the other guy, the wealthy man who had refused to give more than 50, he saw that his business began to decline, his wealth began to decline, and he was headed towards becoming a pauper. He wasn't stupid, and he felt there must be some connection between his refusal to give the 200 ruble as per the Rebbe's request on my account, and with the fact that he has become poor. So he traveled to the Rebbe, And he began by apologizing and said, I'm very sorry that I didn't listen to you. But you know, we don't have an account. I assumed when you said, give him on my account, you meant, out of respect to the Rebbe, be generous. So, you know, I give 10. You were hoping that I would be generous. And I thought 50 was quite generous. But like, is it right that because I didn't give the 200, I should lose all my wealth? My family should be reduced to poverty? Perhaps you should have told me, you know, give 200 or else, instead of saying on account. So the Rebbe said, you should know, God forbid, I didn't curse you. I didn't pray that God should take away your wealth. But before I came down to this world, and my soul was told, you're going to be a leader, and you're going to be responsible for a community, and you're going to have to inspire them and guide them and teach them and lead them and bless them, I said, listen, if you're sending me down to this world with such a big job, you're going to have to give me a lot of money because there'll be a lot of needs and I'll have to be able to help people. And they said, fine, we'll give you the money. And I said, listen, my soul said before I came to this world, you don't need to give me the money. I don't need or desire wealth. Give the money to various of my chassidim. Let them be the stewards of my money. And when I need it to help for an important cause, I'll take it then. So with that, the deal was made. I would come down to this world. I would be granted abilities. I would be a leader. And that's what happened. And so when things come up and someone needs money, so that's what I mean by on my account. That the blessings that Hashem has given to my chassidim, which is really for me to be able to help my community, that's when I'm supposed to draw on that resource. And when you said, basically, you don't want to be a steward for my money, I said, fine, I'll find someone else who's interested in being a steward for my money. So there's no punishment, there's no cursing, there's nothing negative here. Just, till now you were a steward of the money given to me by heaven to do good. And when you chose not to be a steward, the money went somewhere else. I believe that the guy got wiser and perhaps, I don't know, he was reinstated as a steward to use the money properly. But the real point of the story, I think, is, and so I have heard from people much smarter than me, that Hashem gives each and every one of us many blessings. Sometimes they're financial, sometimes they're in wisdom and an ability to speak, and all kinds of things. These are gifts Hashem gives us. We're supposed to be stewards, and we need to be sure we're using them properly. May Hashem help that all the blessings and all the talents Hashem has given us, we should be smart enough to use them in a way that brings Hashem into this world and brings Mashiach that much closer. Have a great week.